incognito. Dude, this is so loud. Sorry. There we go. It's perfect. Perfect. The volume. Oh my god, this is playing Minecraft. So, before last time, so last time, since last time, I've been up here. I've been working up here, and I've been building this, and I built this, and it's basically like the same as downstairs, except I've got this thing, right, and I've got this thing, right, and it's like bigger, slightly bigger, and then like I've got this going here. So like I'll show you guys what's going on up there. It's crazy. Oh man, it's right here. So like I don't know what, like there's nothing supporting it, but like that's fine because it's not real. It's not real life. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But like, oh man, why is the game lagging? I should probably. Oh man, what's happening? Oh wow. Okay. It'll probably fix. Oh, it's I think I have Premiere open on my computer. I should turn that off. I should close that. Oh man, I'll wait a minute or two. We need to find some more diamonds. That's something that we need to do. We need to find diamonds because that's. Oh man, I should empty my inventory first because like I want to have plenty of room for everything that I'm gonna need to be putting in my inventory here because we're not really gonna be grabbing diamonds. You know what I mean? We're gonna be grabbing different things. Just diamonds is the main goal. You know what I mean? It's like that's what we're doing here today. Oh my god, dude. Oh hey, I should take that. Should I use it? Yeah, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna keep these though, and I'm gonna put some in that chest that I have down there in case I die. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put that away. I should put these blocks away also. Right, I'm gonna. This is getting annoying. I need to fix this. I need to see what happens. Let's go underground. Let's go underground. Let's go underground. We need to go underground. Why is it taking so long to work? I need to get a new computer, one that's not super slow like this is, because I need to be able to run two things at once. Oh man, dude, I need to be able to. Oh my god, this is so annoying. Why is it so laggy? Okay, it's not as laggy as it was before. Okay, that's good. Did I? Jesus Christ! I need to keep the doors closed. Oh my god, I'm gonna have a heart attack over here. If this doesn't start breaking out soon, I'm gonna. Oh man, I'm gonna just have to strangle someone. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm not actually angry, or maybe I am. I don't know yet. I should probably figure that out next time before I start speaking. Oh my god. I don't want to go down there, I want to go down in here. Oh man, that's another thing I did. I made it really deep because I was getting stone for the building of that thing. That big
tower thing, the tornado. The tornado, it's gonna be a tornado. Yeah, that's gonna be really cool. That's gonna be really fun. I'm excited. I'm really excited for that. And, should I... wonder what I should do for this video. It's gonna be interesting. Why am I yawning? That's weird. I shouldn't be yawning in this state. I'm gonna head this way. I'm gonna start heading this way because, I don't want to run so far that way. Jesus, God. I'm gonna, maybe sensitivity, maybe me in this state shouldn't have sensitivity all the way up on everything. Like my mouse is all the way up, my game is all the way up on sensitivity, and I don't know if there's a system thing that I can do. Can I do that? If I can, then I'm gonna turn it all the way up just for fun, you know what I mean? It's just gonna be fun, it's just gonna be cool. What am I supposed to do? Oh, mining, I'm gonna do this. So that I can, like, place them, you know what I mean? Oh my god, I forgot to get torches! I'm such a dummy! Oh, I can just... Man, I'm glad I brought wood here, because that's, like, yeah, that's important for me to do, bring wood, and so that I can make torches, you know what I mean? Because you can just make them out of this stuff. Minecraft is a lot easier when I'm able to think. I mean, I assumed it would be easier. I didn't know it was going to be this much easier, though. My words, they're not good. Why? Why doesn't it just stack them? That would be so much better. Now we need to find some diamonds, and if we get other things, then that's good too. We need to get some diamonds, we need to get some stuff, we need to get some other things so that we can make an enchanting table, and so that we can enchant things, because that's something that we can do. I don't know if it's 30 levels or 50 levels that I need to enchant something to its highest potential, but like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Do the little runes little signs make any? Do they mean anything? Has anybody ever tried to like decode those? Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should try and decode those little rune thing. Like maybe I should try and figure that out. Right? Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they're all assigned to something. Maybe they're just random. They're probably just random. I can probably not. I can probably. I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna be able to figure anything out. I'm not that smart. I don't got a big speedy brain. I mean, speedy right now. But you know, normally nah. And oh man, 12 hours. 12 hours from an hour ago. Before 6 in the morning, when I'm gonna go to sleep. When I'm gonna be able to go to sleep. I wonder if I'm gonna play this the entire time. Probably not. Probably not. Maybe I'll edit some videos. You know, I'll edit some videos. I'll make a map. Make a map of people with blonde hair in Europe. See like different percentages and stuff. That's pretty interesting. I made one about redheads in Europe, and it was pretty cool. Wasn't people didn't like it as much as they liked my other maps, but all my other maps didn't have purposes. So I don't know why they didn't like this one as much. So, but they don't like this one as much. I hope I said that. I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe I said that. Maybe I didn't say that. I need to. Oh man, I should turn this off. There we go. Now better make a. No, I'm gonna turn that back on. Okay, what am I doing? Okay, so this is we're playing Minecraft. Yeah, need to. Right, lost my train of thought there. Doesn't matter. What's my train of thought? One time, I was in a state similar to this one, and it was after a day. I was feeling real down at school, you know, and not real down, but like really tired and also down because I don't know, just the day before wasn't a very good one, you know. And my friend was like, "Hey, make it better." Made it better, and for the rest of the day, I was trying to figure out what this little what is it? It's not a dichotomous key. It's like a tournament chart. No. Yeah, kind of. I guess. Yeah, it was like a list of countries, and they were all like linked together, and then like it went into another one, and it was like another bracket, and then another bracket, another bracket, another bracket. But it wasn't like one country would move on to the next one. It was like one group, and then a completely different group for the next level, and they were all connected for some reason. It was like 4 degrees of separation kind of stuff, and I was trying to figure it out. I was trying to figure out what the map was based on, or not the map, the graph was based on, what the diagram was based on, and it was actually really interesting. I wasn't able to figure it out, of course, because I mean, it was all I had was a list of countries and like put them together. I figured out it had 2 different maps. I mean 2 different graphs. I think there was one. It was men and women, and then the bottom one was men and women in the 80s, and then men and women in the 2000s or something like that. And some of the things were similar, but I don't know. I couldn't figure out, like, it could have something to do with men and women being different, but also it could just be random, because there are a lot of things that men and women are different in, especially when you take like a whole bunch of countries like that. And there wasn't really much, like, I don't think it had anything to do with the rights, because like they're because the most oppressive countries weren't grouped together in both in the female one. They weren't grouped together at the top and also at the bottom, so it doesn't make any sense for them to be rights. It had to be something like maybe society, maybe the way that society saw them in a specific way, or something like that, or maybe births. It could have something to do with births, like amount of boys or girls born. I don't know. It might have something to do with maybe social equality or economic equality, not political equality. Because that could be it. That could totally be it. Oh man, I couldn't figure that out now. I would have to try and find the graph there, and I don't. Oh, I could probably find it. My friend sent it to me on text message, so yeah, I could figure that out. Maybe. No, I couldn't figure that out. I tried to figure it out for like 4 hours on the bus ride home, for an hour when I got home, because this was before I started driving, because I only started driving like a month ago, and like this is like 2 months ago, and I was still at school. It was still during school time, and like, you know, oh man, school. Oh wow, it's been a long time since I placed a torch. I need to make sure this place stays lit up so that I can see, for one, and also so that zombies and creepers and other things don't spawn in here, because I don't want to have to deal with things spawning in here, because it's no fun to have. I mean, it is pretty fun. It is a little bit fun trying to deal with. It's fun, but I mean, I want to be safe at the same time, though. So you know what I mean. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's just it's another level of difficulty that I don't really need in my shaft here, just in case. You know what I mean? Hey, found a little maze here. I'm gonna go try and find some diamonds in here. You know what I mean? Hopefully there's some diamonds in this shaft here, in this cave. It's a cave. Yes, that's the name of it. It's a cave. Let's find some diamonds in this cave. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, but I hope I'm able to, and it's gonna be really, oh man, if it's real, it's gonna be, all I need is 2 diamonds. I need 2 diamonds to craft a enchanting table, and then we can enchant things, like this pickaxe. I can enchant, I mean, I would want to enchant a different pickaxe, because this one's almost gone, or I could repair this one with other diamonds, but that would take more, yeah, I'm not gonna do that, because that's wasteful with diamonds, and also it's wasteful with, experience levels, so I'm not gonna deal with that. I'm not about that life. So let's just deal with, let's just burn that bridge when we come to it, as somebody, I can't remember who said once, which was, I really like that quote though. It's a really good one. Oh man, made someone smile today. It was really cool. I was really happy about it. You know, when people say that, like in elementary school, people used to always tell us, like, the teachers would always tell us, like, it makes everybody's day better when you compliment someone, when you make someone feel good. It makes you feel good too. And like, I never really understood that. Like, I never understood that until today, when I was like, hey, you're actually really funny all the time. And sometimes you say a joke and you say it's not a very good joke, but almost every time it's a great joke, and you're just wrong. It's a good joke. And then she was like, oh man, I love you. That's great. And I'm like, yeah, all right. Now I get it. It feels good to make other people feel good. Now I get that. Which, I mean, I understood it a lot before. I just didn't experience it before. I understood why that would happen, how that would happen, and I just fully came to the realization of that because I just experienced that today, and it was great. Made me happy for the rest of the day. I've been happy all day today, and it's been great. Oh man, you guys, you should like give a genuine compliment to someone. Like, I've given compliments to people before, like, you look nice today, but like, and I mean it, but like, at the same time, it's not like something really deep, like, you're actually really funny, and here's like an entire thing about it. It's not like that. When that, like, before I was like, alright, they feel good, and it's, that's a good thing, you know? But now I'm like, oh man, they feel good. I just did a super, like, extreme compliment to them that, like, took this, that's great, that's a great thing, that's a great, thing that happens there, and yeah, it's just, enjoyable there. That's a good thing to do, is compliment people. You should compliment people all the time, because it makes people feel right, makes people feel good, you know? Like, sometimes you'll compliment people and you're like, they didn't deserve that compliment. Well, then don't compliment that person, because that doesn't help anyone. They can tell it's not real, and nobody wants to be pitied. That's not a fun feeling, being pitied by anybody. That's, oh man, it makes everybody feel bad. It makes you feel bad because now you're feeling pity, and makes that other person feel bad because now they're being pitied upon. That's not fun. That's bad. Like, because then they're like, now I'm making this person feel bad because I'm not great, and like, yeah, it's just not a fun feeling for anyone involved. So don't do that. Don't feel pity. I mean, you should feel pity for people who should need pity felt on them, but like, you shouldn't express pity for people, because that's just, oh man, like, I was watching You, that show about that, like, the crazy guy, and on Netflix, and like, oh man, dude, at the end she was like, or near the end she was like, I feel pity for you, and I'm like, oh, that killed me. That made me want to die in that moment when she said that, and like, seeing his face, oh man, if I was in that situation, I would just, I don't know what I would do, but it would not end well, because, not only because it's a crazy situation, but because, I would not be able to handle that. Wow. Oh man. Seth Rogen's a good actor. He's really funny. Like, I thought Observe and Report was a really bad movie, but that's mostly because, oh, I just realized every movie is a bad movie when I watch it in certain states. I've got to wait till I'm in a good state of mind for me to watch a movie and think that it's a good one. Like, I enjoyed Observe and Report, obviously, but I didn't think it was a good movie. Maybe I'd think it was a good movie if I watched it now, or maybe 30 minutes ago, or an hour ago, or an hour and a half ago. What time is it? Oh man, an hour and 15 minutes ago. Yeah, my mind's racing. I need to find another cave so that this can be interesting, because nobody wants to watch me just dig a hole right here. I don't want to dig a hole in front of you guys. Sounds so weird. I don't want to dig a hole in front of you guys. Oh, I like that. That's a good joke. That's a good prank right there. I like that. Good prank. I like it. I keep saying that. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm being impulsive right now. I need to make a, okay, yeah, I have a lot of iron back at the tower. I've also got, a lot of coal back at the tower. Oh, God. And like, okay, yeah. I have a lot of stuff back at the tower, so I don't really need all this stuff. But like at the same time, I'm gonna need it eventually. So why not dig it now? You know what I mean? So like, yeah. That's really just that's why I'm doing this right now. And I'm gonna need. I know that I need lapis now for enchanting. And it used to be. Is it 30 levels? Yeah, lapis and it's 30 levels is the limit, not 50 levels. 50 levels. Yeah, 50. Yeah, and you can't. I'm gonna try and get some level 5 stuff because you can't get that naturally anymore because 50 levels was the only way you were able to get level 5 like efficiency and stuff like that. So I'm gonna wait for a little bit to get a level 5 efficiency thing like that. You know what I mean? So that I can like go like zoom real fast all over the place. I'm about to break this pickaxe. That's not cool. I'm gonna. Oh man, this is my only diamond pickaxe. Good thing I have that iron one, but like still, I wish it wasn't that way. I should have probably brought more pickaxes. I left them in that chest earlier, the one with stuff in it for in case I die in here. Yeah, I should probably have brought a couple more because I should have known I wasn't gonna fill up on chips this quickly. Why did I? Yeah, all right, there we go. I should probably eat some stuff. You know what I mean? Because I'm like dying over here. You know what I mean? Yeah, there you go. Finished eating things, so now I think I can. That didn't help. Like it's like. Alright, I'm gonna try this. That's cool. Oh man. I miss playing Minecraft. I'm so bad at this. Oh man. I learned how to do that back when I was like playing Minecraft Pocket Edition on my iPad back when I was like 5? 7. Yeah, I think 7. When I was 7, I learned how to do that. It was an accident, and I was like, "That's actually really cool. I like that." And it helped a lot. Except back then, they didn't just sit on top of the torch if there wasn't any momentum. You didn't need momentum. You just got destroyed if it was underneath the torch, so it was fine. And when I first started playing this game, there wasn't any gravity, so things didn't fall. I mean, people fell, but gravel didn't fall and sand didn't fall. So it was really. Oh man, I made a couple wells. Because there wasn't any buckets, so then whenever I found water, I wouldn't touch it unless if I was trying to make a farm. So like, I would build like a little well around it, and it would look cool, and it would look nice, and it was out of like some of them were made out of gravel because back then the gravel texture actually looked pretty cool, looked like a well material. So I just kind of made it out of gravel, and because it didn't fall, I had like a little well roof on it out of gravel, and it like. And then once the update came where they started falling, I was like, hey, and then all of the things fell and destroyed all the water. So then I only had like one source of water left in the entire world because it was only a small world. It wasn't like it had like limits, you know, because like it wasn't infinite like these are. It was like they had boundaries because it was on an iPad and iPads don't have that much room to like explore and stuff. So yeah. And then when buckets came out, I tried fixing it, but it didn't work. Darn. I'm just gonna finish off this pickaxe and then I'll go and get another pickaxe, a couple more pickaxes, and some more torches, some more wood to make some torches, because I wanna find some diamonds today here. I need to find a cave. I need to find an expansive cave, a big cave, so like I can just like never stop exploring in the cave, so that it's not this boring like running around, walking around, digging the hole, like this weird. Mining strategy over here, you know, so I should do that. That'll be better. Yep, yes, I agree. It was my idea, sorry. My brain. Yesterday was weird. I should not have been driving yesterday. But I was, and today I went driving again, and except this time it wasn't with my dudes and dudettes, it was with, dudette is such a dumb word, it was with no one. I was with no one. But, I drove to the grocery store, picked up some milk at the grocery store because my dad asked me to, and that's something that you do when your dad asks you to do it. You just go to the grocery store and pick up some milk, you know what I mean? And, then I went to the Terry's down the street, not down the street, by the high school, which is like 15 minutes away, and, what is happening here? Okay, and like, after I went and got burgers for my entire family at the Terry's, I was like, came home, we ate dinner, which is not something
I do normally. I don't think, or do I? Yes, I do. I eat. Normally, I only eat dinner. I only eat one meal a day, and it's normally smaller or average size of a meal. Sometimes I eat 2 meals a day, but whenever I eat 2 meals a day, at least one of them is absurdly small, because I'm not a very big guy. I mean, I'm a tall guy. I'm like 5'11", but like I'm not a big guy. I don't eat a lot. I'm not an overweight man. I'm pretty skinny. I used to run. Don't run anymore because they wanted me to cut my hair for the track team, and I didn't want to cut my hair for the track team because I didn't care enough. And so they were like, well, if you don't cut your hair, you can't be on the team. And I'm like, alright, who cares? Yeah, I don't really care about school very much. I don't really care about the things that I should care about. I mean, I wasn't great at running. I mean, I was good at running. I was like, I guess I wasn't one of the best on the team or anything. Like, I was fine. I was alright, but like, I mean, I wasn't bad. I wasn't the best on the team. I wasn't the worst on the team. I was like maybe in the middle or a little bit higher than the middle. So like everything's good. Everything's alright. Everything's Gucci, as they say in the hood. So yeah, that's really my entire story right there. I should bring more food, shouldn't I? Where did I put my food? There's my food. What am I problem? What am I problem? Oh man, I should. Where did I put the other potatoes? I need to cook these potatoes. I need to make a couple more furni. I need to make some more furni and bake some potatoes here. And I'll put that back. I'll let that go, and I'll take this, and I'll take that, and I'll put that in there, and I'll take that, and I'll just bake that, because who cares? You know what I mean? Now I'm just gonna make one batch of torches, and do I have any wood? No wood? Oh, there's wood. And there's an axe. I should probably bring a shovel. Maybe I should. Nah. I'm not gonna do that to everyone. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that to everyone here, because that would be inhumane. Or would it be? Would that make this more interesting? Let me know. Actually, seriously, let me know, because, like, I kind of feel like that would be fun. Might give me a headache. Probably give me a headache. Oh, speaking of, I should probably drink some water. First rule of speeding. Drink water. Jeez, that burned me for some reason. I feel like that was impressive. Was it not impressive? I just wanted the gunpowder, because I need to make some dynamite. You know what I mean? Just need to build some dynamites here. Why is the... So I'm about to walk right into the... Don't blow up, please, and thank you. Jeez. Shh. I did it again. I like that. I'm glad I built this pit here. Oh my god. No. Oh, get out of here. Leave me alone. Leave me alone! Don't kill me. Why? Ow. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna get out of here. I'm just gonna go.
Can't handle that. Sorry. I don't want to deal with that. Don't want to deal with any of that stuff. That's not fun. That's not. I mean, it is fun, but like, still, this is. I have an objective here. I have to plan out this entire thing. I should probably leave at least one pickaxe in there. Alright, I have one. I have one upstairs, so it's fine. Should I keep going this way? I'm gonna go a different way, because I don't want to bore you with running down that glass elevator anytime soon. Wrong set of words. Sorry. Yeah, let's continue. Let's get out of here. Let's skedaddle. I need to get this stuff so that I can enchant things. I've already talked about that, but it's important. I need that stuff for enchanting, because you know me, always enchanting stuff. You don't know me, and you also don't know my Minecraft habits, because I used to make Minecraft videos. If you don't know, I only made like 13 episodes of this 30 minutes each. 30 minutes each, or were they like 20 minutes each? I don't know, it doesn't matter. I think one of them was 30 minutes, the rest of them were like 20 minutes, but I recorded literally everything I did in that world, so there was absolutely no progress, and I only made like 13 episodes, so and the entire time I was being a little chicken, chip, and I was in like 6th grade, so it's fine. So that doesn't count. It doesn't count at all. I need to mine that stuff right there. So like, yeah. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, my Minecraft habits, you guys. Wow, I stopped playing Minecraft at the same time I stopped making Minecraft videos. I made a video announcing that I stopped making Minecraft videos, and I also, it was also at the same time, it was me announcing that I was gonna stop playing Minecraft, and I was also gonna stop making videos. And I stopped doing all of that for a year, and then I came back and started making videos again, except they were fun videos, and, I think that was around 7th grade. Yeah, that was around 7th grade. And then I stopped playing up until, like, a few days ago, and now I'm playing again. And I'm playing now, because this is fun. Oh man. I need to play with somebody else. I need to play this game with somebody. Talking to myself is weird. I don't like doing it. It's not fun, but, you know, my little brother is, good at making YouTube videos. He used to make YouTube videos a lot. I used to edit them for him and post them to, like, his channel, and, like, he was good at making the videos. He was good at, like, speaking and stuff, because he doesn't really have any, like, normally he already talks to himself, which is a plus, because it makes it, like, not weird for him, and, yeah, and he also is just a really loud person, really expressive person, as they say, is a nice way of saying it, which is not very, I mean, it's not great whenever I'm playing games with him normally, which I don't very much anymore, because he's grounded, because he, failed 8th grade, kind of, but back when we did play video games together, which was very rare, he used to scream all the time, yell all the time, constantly talk to himself, and I was like, maybe you should, like, stop yelling, maybe that's a thing that you could do, and he wouldn't stop yelling, and so, but, I mean, people online love people to yell in video games, just like PewDiePie, you know, he's always yelling, or at least he was, back when I watched PewDiePie. I should start watching PewDiePie again. Oh man, I stopped watching around, like, the 3rd meme review, I think. I should start watching that again. How old is meme review? Oh man. Can't remember. Ow, my arm. Why was I just all tense for, like, I've been tense for, like, the last 15 minutes, and I didn't even notice until just now. It was like, oh, I can unclench my jaw and stop holding my shoulders, like, right against my neck. And that was weird. Now I'm relaxed a little bit, hopefully. Yeah, alright. I have to force myself to relax for some reason. This is weird. Not for some reason, I know why, but, like, still, this is, situation. Ow, my shoulder hurts now, though, because I was tense. This is my mouse hand. I can't risk it. I can't. Ow. I don't even use my shoulder for moving my mouse. My sensitivity is all the way up. I don't have to. I barely have to move my hand. I probably use, I've probably been using the amount of my mouse pad, probably the size of my mouse, plus maybe a third of it all day today, because, maybe not a third of the mouse pad, but like the size of my mouse and a third of the size of my mouse together, because I don't have to move my mouse at all to move the screen, or the mouse, whatever, who cares, oh, I said that twice, oh my god, I need to stop saying things twice, I need to stop. joke. I want Tessa to tell me a joke. Her jokes are always funny. But yesterday, can't remember it because of the state that I was in, but I was driving and she made a really funny joke, and I was dying, and she was like, it wasn't even that funny, and I was like, no, you don't understand. That was the funniest joke I've heard in weeks. And, like, it was so funny, and I wish I could remember it, but I can't. Oh man. One of my friends, he records everything, like audio. He records the audio of everything whenever he's with anybody. And now I understand why. It's because he needs to be able to remember moments like that, because moments like that, they're so important. I wish I had a camera, because I would be capturing everything on film constantly, because that is like, oh man, I wish I could live in that moment again, because that was so funny. I love moments like that, when somebody just says something really funny. Like, I listen to podcasts all the time, watch YouTube videos all the time, and watch movies and TV shows all the time where people are really funny, where there are really good jokes, and they're just not very important. Like, when people in real life make jokes, it is so much funnier. Like, face to face, jeez. It is so funny, and it's so much better, and it's a more personal connection, which just makes it even more funny, and like, inside joke potential, which is like, strengthens relationships between people, which is always great. That sounds so nerdy to saying that, but it's true. So, don't even judge me on that one, dude, because you know it, I know it, we all know it. If it's okay. I should probably just fill that up. I don't need it. I'm gonna keep that and that and that, because I want to be able to place it if I ever need to place things, because I don't want to keep those things, because they're not nice blocks. I mean, they can be nice blocks depending on what I'm using them for, but I wouldn't use any of it except for this one and the side. So, because that's the only one that looks nice to me. I don't know. The red one is too red, and what is that, granite? Yeah, granite. And the other one is too white. That sounds racist. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be racist. That wasn't that racist, I swear. I know you know that, but like, I was just being a ridiculous person just now, because we're talking about colors of rocks, and yeah, not racist against white people, or I'm not racist against white people or Native Americans, I swear. I am a white person, so I would have a harder time being racist against white people than other people would be. Other people who are not white would be, because it's easier not to like people of a different race than it is to not like people of your own race, I believe, I think, maybe. Yeah, I assume that's the way it is, because like tribalism, people joining together based on something they all share in common, like fandoms and subreddits, everybody who likes them. I don't know what just happened. Everybody who likes a certain thing joins together and just comes together in a little community and talks about what they like or what they don't like. Just ends up making friends in that community, and that's just the way it is. But back in the day, people used to like get together in tribes based on certain things that they had in common. Normally, people are friends because of something they have in common, like a group of people who are all on the baseball team or the football team all get together and have a little friend group there. People who all like video games all play video games together and all do that. People who like drugs do, a bunch of people who like drugs get together, and then like at the same time they may dislike people who do other things, like football players not liking people who play video games, people who don't like people who play sports, or people who do drugs not liking people who don't do drugs, people who don't do drugs not liking people who do drugs. I'm just gonna control Z right here, and then close that. Yeah, let's save those changes, and then close that, so that it stops breaking the game. Please and thank you. Is that gonna work? Hopefully that works. Yeah, I think it was just Premiere closing out my Minecraft tab here. So, yeah, I think I fixed it. Yeah, so I'd assume, like, one thing that people could have in common is their race, and they could, or their ethnicity specifically, like if Germans wanted to move together, or Italians wanted to get together, or maybe Syrians instead of just all Arabic people, or Arabic people. I don't know what the diamonds, I saw diamonds down there. I don't know, I think Arabic is the language and Arab is the race, and then Syrian would be the ethnicity, or arguably the race, because I know that there is an argument that goes on about whether Arab is a race, or if it is, or if it is just a collection of smaller races and ethnicities. I know that people confuse Persian for Arab when they are separate races, and I would not. Hey, that's another thing. You could group the people together based on all being in a certain region, like the Middle East, which would include Arab people and Persian people, and or you could, which would as a result have a little bit of a ethnic similarity between them, and that could be seen as racism if to somebody who doesn't quite understand the way things are working out there, because they could go like, oh, I see how those people look similar, so and they are all in the same group based on, and they aren't allowing other people who are of different races into that group, so that is a racist group, but really it could just be based on geography, not based on their ethnicity. Maybe if somebody was born within like Iran or something, they would allow them to join their little group there, you know. So that's just a thought there. But it's pretty easy to think that one person could go like, I'm white, so I want to join a group of people who are also white, and then also not want these other groups of people within here, because that's just like, people want to cling on to a group that they're a part of, you know? Everyone wants a group of friends that all have at least one thing in common, and sometimes that thing is race, and that's not, I mean, it's not the best thing to have in common, it's not terrible, but it's not the best thing to have in common, as long as you don't, like with the Black Caucus and in the government, in the, what is it, the Senate or is it the House, I don't know, one of them, but they only allow, Black Democrats to join, and it makes, I mean, I don't think it's wrong, I think it's fine, who cares, you know? But, it's, I mean, I wouldn't create a group like that based on race, because I would make it based on,
especially in politics, I would make it based on something more, that makes more sense, like maybe a group of people in the Midwest, or maybe southern representatives or something like that, not based on race and stuff like that. So just because that would make more sense, because as the Black Caucus, they're not only representing black people, they're representing all people in their districts. So it does. I don't agree with it. I don't think it's bad or wrong or anything. So it's whatever. Who cares? You know. I wouldn't make the same decision, but it's fine. I really don't like calling things racist. Calling things racist is pretty last resort for me. Like, because normally things aren't racist. Normally things that seem racist end up not being racist, and jumping to the conclusion that something is racist is normally more hurtful than helpful to society and the people that you're having a conversation with, because it just ends up shutting down the conversation, and the other person doesn't want to talk to you because you think that they're racist, and you think that just because they're racist that that their opinion doesn't matter, which isn't true. Everybody's opinion matters. Everybody's a little bit irrational in some way, and for some people it's just that they're racist, and that's, I mean, it's not okay to be racist, but it's also not the end of the world. So like, it's not that big a deal to me if somebody's racist towards me. I mean, I've had people be racist against me before because I am white, and people, for some reason, sometimes people don't like that about me, which is completely fine. I don't care. I mean, I don't understand it, but I also don't care, because who cares? I don't get offended by things. But yeah, it's not really much of a problem, I don't think. If you're offended by something, just, I mean, you don't have to say it, just kind of be quietly offended, or you can say something and teach someone that it's not okay to do what they say, and maybe you'll change some minds, and that would be preferable, because then the less ignorant people that we have in the world, the better. And that's really just what I believe, is that we need less ignorant people, and if that means confronting people when they are rude, then sure. And if that means ignoring people when they're rude, then sure. And if being racist is counted as rude, then, I mean, which I think it should be, but at the same time, because you're not giving somebody the time of day to express it, to show that they are an individual, and not the way that you're just assuming they are based on their race, you know. So you shouldn't base your decisions based on you shouldn't base your decisions on race, of course, because then you're missing out on so much by doing that, because it's kind of like with the man and woman thing. People, even if somebody is a sexist person, they're not gonna not hire a woman just because, or a man, just because they are a woman or a man. It's more like they will hire this employee because they want to make the most money. You know what I mean? It's not. It would just be illogical to hire a worse person for the job just because they are a certain gender or really every or race, because really everybody is an individual, so they should be treated as that. And if people don't realize that, then they're just missing out on a lot of friendships and what is it called? Friendships and relationships, and if they are an employer of somebody or multiple people, then they're missing out on good employees and on money and really just everything. If you make decisions based on race or gender or anything other than the person's character, then you're missing out. It's not a really big deal because maybe somebody won't get a job or something, which is worse for them than it is for the person just missing out on having that employee. But still, it hurts everyone in that sort of situation. I'm not really bothered by racists though, because I don't know. I don't really think they hurt anybody anymore. The Ku Klux Klan has kind of stopped burning people, I think. So it's alright. It's whatever. I'm not going to waste my time getting offended. I'm not going to waste my energy being offended by things. It's not worth it. Ow. Kill the dog. Kill the animal. Oh my god, there's so many. Whoa. Okay, yeah, I probably should have just slept. I think that's the moon going down. Yeah. So, I don't think there's much wrong with racists. I think it's just like anything. If you think, like, you just haven't been enlightened or taught correctly, or you just don't, I'm gonna run home now. You just don't have the right opinion, and it's fine. Like, if for anybody who is objectively wrong, people are objectively wrong all the time, and it's okay, because, and it's the same thing with that one. It's just that one happens to hurt people, and other ones really hurt people most of the time. Like, there are other forms of ignorance, like wage gap. That was.
I got a new iPhone, and it's better than yours, bitch.
Society just needs to learn itself dry before somebody goes and destroys it like me. I should become president, and then, oh man, China's terrible. I hate China. Like, everything that has to do with China, that place, like, everybody's talking about how Russia's so terrible, Russia hacked the election, all this stuff. No, dude, don't even worry about Russia. Russia's garbage. They have a tiny economy. They have a terrible military. Most of their weaponry is outdated, back from the Cold War. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It would take weeks for them to, like, make all of that old technology work again, and they probably don't even have enough money to mobilize their army. 2/3 of their army is conscripts anyway, so they're gonna all retreat from battle whenever they see it. Which, like, so they really, Russia's just dumpster fire, and nobody should pay attention to them because they're not worth it. And so, but China on the other hand, is a force to be reckoned with. They've got a modern military, high GDP. They have, and also they have just enough capitalism for them to have the benefits of it, but also enough communism for the government to still have almost complete control over them. And those things together is just just makes them a definite problem for the United States in the future, really for the entire Western world in the future. We're going to be, if I ever have kids, they're going to be dealing with the same problems in China, possibly, that we're dealing with. Them manipulating currency, manipulating the global market, taking advantage of smaller countries like the United States, or not the smaller countries like the United States, but larger countries and smaller countries like Germany, the United States, Russia, really all of them. And at the same time, another advantage that they have is that they have no morals, or at least the government has no morals. The Chinese people, they are just oppressed people. They know not what they do, as they say. They are oppressed people who are just they just don't know what to do, and that's just the way it is. I don't really know how to fix that, but I know the way to fix the problems for the entire world that the entire world has with China. The way to fix that is to fight them, but we're not going to do that because they have a modernized army. They have a Western-style army, and modernized army. I guess every army now is westernized, but still, Western-style army, modernized army, heavily funded army. They have a lot of volunteers, not like I think most of their military is based on volunteers, not conscripts. So which means that they're going to have high morale and have high patriotism in their army, which means that they're going to be more likely to want to die for their country, which is going to make it a whole lot more difficult if we were to fight them. So really, war with China would just be a nightmare. So I would not want to do that, but at the same time, that would be the only way, because China's people are oppressed. Their government is an oppressive government. They work. Most Chinese people work for low wages. They're overpopulated. They're causing extreme pollution that is affecting all of East Asia, not only China, and also affecting the rest of the world through the oceans, which is not okay. They're just killing everyone and everything, and at the same time, they have no morals, no morals comes from them having internment camps for Muslims and ethnic minorities out in their western areas. The western, very low populated parts of China are filled with non-Chinese people, nationally Chinese, but not ethnically Han Chinese. So they are seen. So the Chinese government sees them as lower than them because they are racists, and also they are Muslim and not either atheist, Buddhist, or some other East Asian traditional religion, or Christian. They don't like Christians, but they like Christians more than Muslims. So and they like Jews more than Muslims. So really, they just hate Muslims. So they're putting them all in these internment camps for minor infractions on who knows what, and so they end up just having all these big Nazi-style internment camps where they take, and just like North Korea, take the entire family of some people and just put them into the internment camp, and then just like, oh, you stole some food? Well, how about we put you in this? Oh, you stole some food because you don't make any money because you live in China and you have an oppressive government, and the government blacklisted you for getting a job. Okay, now we're gonna put you in an internment camp and put the rest of your family in an internment camp, even though they didn't do anything wrong. And the reason why we're treating you more terribly than any other Chinese citizen is because you are a Muslim and also not ethnically Chinese. And that's just not the way that you should do things. You shouldn't treat people that way. It's just like, I mean, like, they didn't even, they've got lower morals than Nazi Germany, because Nazi Germany, they at least tried to deport the Jews before they decided to start just killing them all. Like, they reached out to France and the UK and the United States and said, hey, could you take these Jews, because we don't want them anymore. And the United States and UK and France were like, no, we're not going to do that. And so now that's what pushed them to kill them all. I mean, it wasn't right to do any of that stuff. No, it wasn't right to just go like, take our Jews, we don't want them anymore, because that's anti-Semitic and also racist. So that's not a good thing. But like, at least it was more humane than just throwing them into a camp without ever giving them a chance to leave or asking anybody to take them. It would be better if China was not here, because they have no morals, they are communist, they are authoritarian, they have this terrible what is it called, social credit thing. It's like credit on like a credit card, except it's like social stuff. If you get caught jaywalking, you get publicly humiliated and also get points on your social credit. If you get too many points, then you are restricted from buying certain things or traveling or doing things like that. So if you buy alcohol or too much alcohol, you get points. And if you do other things like if you get alcohol, then if you get too much alcohol, then you get points. If you do things like jaywalking, you get too much you get points. If you speed, you get points. It's basically like in the place of every other thing, except it's a police state, so they catch every little thing you do wrong. In America, we get deducted, we get things happen to us for doing the same things, except for not buying alcohol. They don't try and manage our private lives, but at least when it comes to like jaywalking and speeding and doing things like that, we get penalized by having to pay tickets, of course. But at the same time, that doesn't limit our rights to life, our basic like being allowed to travel or being allowed to buy things or being allowed to really exist. So all those things, they're just like, they destroy people's lives for little to no reason. Somebody jaywalks and they get a bunch of points taken off their thing, and I don't know if there's a way to get points or get points taken on their thing. I don't know if there is a way to take the points off once you get them. So it's really just a terrible situation in China. So, but they're police state, so they catch everything. In America, if you cross the street without waiting for the crosswalk thing to turn white, then it's fine. Like, most likely nobody's gonna catch you, nobody's gonna stop you, and if they do, they're just gonna give you a warning. They're not gonna give you a ticket. So, or a charge or anything like that. You're not gonna be charged with anything for jaywalking unless if it's like the same guy again and again and again that keeps catching you. And then they might do something, but most likely you're going to be fine if you jaywalk. But in China, if you jaywalk, they've got cameras everywhere. It'll catch you, it'll publicly humiliate you, and then it will take it'll give you a whole bunch of social credit points, which will limit everything that you're able to do. And it's in a country with a culture based on respect like that, being publicly humiliated is a lot worse than it is here. You may think that being publicly humiliated here would be bad. Well, in China it would be a whole lot worse, because there they have a more respect, more whatever based culture, which, I mean, it's kind of a dumb culture, but at the same time, you can see why that would be detrimental to someone's state of mind, really. Like, I don't know what to talk about anymore. I just went on a bit of a rant about China being the worst place ever. I hate Saudi Arabia. I should probably make a list of countries that I hate. Mozambique, Saudi Arabia, Iran, a little bit, not really much Iran because Iran is pretty alright. I know that their government's like death to America and stuff, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, they're more chill than the rest of the Middle East, I think. They've got less of a terrorist problem, for one. They're freer there than a lot of the other areas. For two, I hate Egypt. Egypt is a garbage. It's a dumpster fire. They polluted the Nile to, like, a point, like, in a couple years they won't be able to drink out of it or something like that. It's crazy. Like, how do you pollute a major river that badly? All of the fish are dead. All of the wildlife there is dead. They've just, in the name of increasing production of really everything there, which is really nothing except for textiles, they have destroyed their environment, and now there's going to be thousands of people who are gonna starve to death. Really, just thousands, if not millions of people in Egypt are gonna starve to death in maybe like 20 years, and it's all because they wanted to increase the production of something that makes them barely any money still, even once they've increased their production. It's so dumb. Like, they would be making more money now if they did it, and also they would not be having this crisis if they did it in a way that did not destroy the Nile River. Everything would be better. What time is it? Oh man, it's 8. Yeah, I'm gonna increase the stakes here. See if that does anything. It will, hopefully. Hopefully 1 + 1 is still not 1. Is not just 1. Wow, speaking is difficult. But the Belt and Road, they manipulate the entire world with the Belt and Road. China, wow, dude, oh man. They go to poor countries, mostly in Africa, and say, we will give you, we will build infrastructure for you. So that's what it's named after, Belt and Road. So basically, like, trains and roads and stuff in your country, and we will do that for you, making your country better, increasing property values around your country, making industry more easy in your country. But what we will do is we'll put your country in immense amounts of debt, and at the same time we will only employ Chinese workers that we will import from China instead of hiring people in your community. So they aren't stimulating the economy there at all by doing that. They aren't doing anything good for these people, for these African countries, except building them roads and trains and stuff, which, I mean, it's good. They need roads and trains and stuff, but at the same time, it's not something that is it's not worth being put into huge amounts of debt and also not getting any economic stimulation out of that, because you're gonna have a whole bunch of debt. You're gonna have to pay it back somehow, and mostly in these contracts agreements that China makes with these other countries, it mostly includes China taking control of certain neighborhoods or certain areas, either economic control or full political control over certain areas in these countries. And normally those countries are the richest parts of the countries, or the only areas of the countries that have any money. So they say, if you don't pay us back by, let's just say 2020, we get to take control over take control over the central business district of your biggest city, or of your capital city. Which, if you don't know what the central business district is, that's where all of the business is done. That's where all of the money is made. So that's where all of the big businesses have their headquarters. So all of that money, all of that tax money, all of that everything is now going to go to China instead of going to this country until they pay back what they owe, which they're not going to be able to pay back what they owe now, because all of the money, all of their income is now going straight to China instead of going to them. So it's just a way for them to dominate the world, which is, world domination is not right. It's just Belt and Road is a demon. It needs to be exorcised from the world. China is a demon that needs to be exorcised from the world. Somebody needs to go into China and state some republic, like the maybe based on the United States, or maybe based on something else. But I don't think a political system like the United States would work in China. We would have to come up with something new. But still, it doesn't matter. Something needs to change there. It needs to not be so authoritarian. It needs to not be so controlling. Something needs to change with China, and if it doesn't, then either their economy is going to collapse because of the current almost trade war that's going on between the United States and China. If other countries get involved, which I assume they would, because why wouldn't they? They're being taken advantage of by China also. It's not just the United States that's being taken advantage of. If other countries get involved, then we're going to possibly see the collapse of their economy, and maybe a few other things that I can't foresee, that nobody can really foresee. I mean, a couple people could probably foresee some things, but I can't foresee everything, because I'm not a genius. But I'm pretty speedy right now, though. But like, just mark my words, people. This is a bad thing. China existing has always been a bad thing. Not always, but for most of history, China has not been a good superpower. They've been a superpower the entire time, but they've been a terrible one the entire time. Always using their power for bad. Always having, like, I hate to bring up things that I learned in school, because it's always one-sided, or at least, they pretend like it's two-sided, but it's never two-sided, because it's the College Board that determines AP classes, and I took AP History last year, and, in AP History, we learned about, legalism, Confucianism, Taoism, all of it. All of them are, authoritarian-based things. That legalism is the only one that has anything to do with the country, with national values, which means that the other ones just ignore it, which means that they live there, don't worry about it, just allow the country to make whatever rules that they want. I'm gonna leave this big tree because I don't want to worry about it. But just allow the country to do whatever they want. And legalism is just that the country has complete and 100% total control over every person in the country, which is just insane. You can't run a country that way. It's not right. It's not okay. You can't have that sort of complete control. The people need to be in control. The government works for the people. That's the only reason the government exists, to support what the people want the government to do. It's not so that the people in the government can get rich, or so that the country can get rich, or so that the country. No goal of the country is above the wants or needs of the people. The people and the wants and needs of the people always come first. The needs of the people come first. The wants of the people come second. The needs or the wants of the government come third, always. And it seems like most countries have lost sight of that at this point. The only country that I have seen that has not lost sight of that so far in this world is Denmark. Denmark has had some bumps along the way, but the way that they treated Iceland, not Iceland, the way that they treat the Faroe Islands and Greenland, the way that they allow them to work semi-autonomously and with no fighting from the Denmark government is the perfect relation between a colonized group and a colonial power. That's like the Faroe Islands, the people of the Faroe Islands, the people of Greenland were like, you as Denmark, we want you to give us more power to rule ourselves, to control ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to make decisions for ourselves, internationally and domestically. And Denmark was like, if that's really what you want, you individuals want that, that's fine. It didn't help Denmark, it probably hurt Denmark to do that, because Denmark is, by doing that, they are losing rights to valuable fishing areas in the water, which like in the North Sea and in the Arctic Ocean and near Canada. So they are missing out on a lot of economic possibilities between Canada and Denmark, and also on a lot of economic possibilities in the ocean and in the seas. So there are downsides, only downsides for Denmark doing that. But at the same time, the people of those places wanted to be free, and Denmark said, all right, which is exactly the way that it should be. That's just the way that it should be. That's the way it always, that's the way the United States was initially, but it's been a downhill journey ever since the Civil War.
Yeah, I got a new iPhone, so I guess that makes me better than you. I got a new iPhone, and it's better than yours, bitch. Yeah, I got a new iPhone, so I guess that makes me better than you. I have an iPhone and you have an Android. Your phone is better, but mine costs more. I have an iPhone and you have an Android. That is because I am rich and you're poor. I have an iPhone and you have an Android. Your phone is better, but mine costs more. I have an iPhone and you have an Android. That is because I am rich and you're poor. I got a new iPhone, and it's better than yours, bitch. Yeah, I got a new iPhone, so I guess that makes me better than you. I got a new iPhone, and it's better than yours, bitch. Yeah, I got a new iPhone, so I guess that makes me better than you. I got a new iPhone, and it's better than yours, bitch. Yeah, I got a new iPhone, so I guess that makes me better than you.
Number one rule of speeding. That's not the number one rule of speeding, but I was just, you get it. I need to find a cow, or, I mean, I want a cow because I need leather, but I'll take a sheep. I have 2 pens over there, one I was going to put sheep in and one I was going to put cows in. And then I was going to make some more pens later for, like, other animals and stuff, but, like, specifically I need cows. Are those cows? I need to wear my glasses so that I can recognize things. Or growing room or whatever, which is interesting, I guess. But yeah, they shouldn't have invaded everyone. Like, I understand the want to unite all German land because, like, you all have a common culture and you've got a common culture, common language, common ethnicity, or at least similar ethnicity, and you wanna put all that stuff together because you all have that in common. You have national pride, you have nationalism. It's fine, it's whatever. But at the same time, you've got to do it the right way, and you can't do that the right way when doing it the wrong way. If that makes sense. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. So that's just like Germany has kind of been bullied its entire lifetime. Like, every time it rises to the top pretty quickly, then falls back down to the bottom of the pile, I guess. And every time it rises back up, right now it's just recently risen back up.
This is one for the little stupid dummy heads with poop on the face and pee on the face and so much stupid lie. You wanna believe you're such a butthead, bugger face, shut your silly mouth, you four-eyed nerd. Click, clock, scram, why you even talking to me? You're a loser, I'm cool, you're just too stupid to see. You don't even have a skateboard, you still have a PS3. You wanna kiss your teacher, you cried when you screamed tonight. Beat it, dweeb, you're a doofus. I don't even like
say that, but, yeah, but still, if you got the same proportion of, I guess, a seventh of the United States, if you got a seventh of the United States to, participate in a protest, you could easily get things done. There's actually a cave over there, so I'm gonna go over there. I haven't explored it. You could easily get things done with a seventh of the population. If a seventh of the population got together in one place and started yelling, then the government would have to listen, no matter what, I guess. But if you got what would a million be? A 300th of the population. If you got a 300th of the population to protest in some way back in the 1800s, then you could get something done with that number even though. But if you got a 300th of the population now to do something, that probably would not help much with really anything, because a 300th is seen as a very small number, even though it's the same proportions as before. It's just because of the way that the government is run and the corruption that is in every government in the world, every government in the West, at least, or really in every country. But most other countries, nobody would protest because, one, they would be too busy making tiny wages to try and feed their family, and two, the government, if they did, would just put down the thing instantly. Kind of like, what is it, Tiananmen Square, whatever. Tiananmen Square, I don't know. I can't speak. I don't know how to say things, but yeah. You can't, it's kind of hard to do that when you're in a sort of situation where your government is oppressive and you don't make enough money to take a day off to go protest. Because in countries like that is the only place where it would work. And at the same time, it wouldn't work for those other reasons. In a country like the United States that was rich at the time and also was rich at the time, with a small population, that with a government that was very in deep with the people, that was a good situation for a protest to actually work. But in today's world, you can't have a protest that works in America, at least not as much work in America, because it's got too big of a population, and also because the government is too separated from the people, because they're all put in their high castles and like the White House and the Capitol buildings, multiple of every state and of the federal government. you've got all the big government buildings that all are meant to separate the people from the government, and they weren't originally meant for that, but that's what they became a symbol of, the government being higher and more important than normal people, having it be worse to kill a police officer than it is to kill a normal person, or assaulting a police officer than assaulting a normal person. Of course, there's context, and I believe the context should be put into the into every ruling, deciding what's going to happen to somebody, but and you've got to pay attention to the context, because if you don't pay attention to the context, then you're just going to end up with a whole bunch of people in jail for doing things that are fairly normal, just doing them to the wrong people, which everyone is equal. That's what the what is it? Is the Declaration of Independence. It says all men are created equal. That includes, and by men it means all people, mankind, which includes men and women, using men as a gender-neutral word. I mean, it might not have been meant at the time as a gender-neutral word, but now we see the word mankind as a gender-neutral word because it's talking about men and women, all humans. So that's just the way it is, and for some reason, at least, I mean, I understand the need for separation because there are assassination attempts, and many presidents and political figures in the United States and all across the world have been assassinated before and after we got put in this situation of separation. But there, I mean, at least in the United States, there was less separation. It was alright, it was all good, and it was fine. And now we have more separation, and it's not all good. I'm not linking the two because this separation has prevented assassinations for sure. Back in the day, when there were less people, each person's voice meant more. There was less want for people to kill people because of political reasons, less reasons for terrorism, which is what that is. It's terrorism. Less reasons to commit terrorist activities, I guess, because people had a good say in what their government did, for one, and also because the government was not seen as all-powerful or better than anybody else. Everyone was created equal, and they knew those people were equal to them, and there was no reason why they should just elect someone new. That person isn't corrupt, and if that person is corrupt, then they would know it, and they would elect someone different, and that person would be punished for being corrupt and manipulating the people. But now, there's no guarantee that that is going to happen. If a president or another political figure is corrupt, there's no guarantee that that person is going to be put behind bars or really punished in any way. Really, you just, of course, there are social consequences often, but or political consequences often, but a lot of the time it just goes unchecked, like
We're not friends anymore. I'ma kick you in the butt, and you smell like a girl.
that was my mom that just called me, and I had to talk to her for an hour, because that's what you do when your mom calls you, you talk to her for an hour. That's what I do, at least, sometimes. Yeah, we had a long conversation. You guys want to hear about it? What was I talking about before?
Jesus. That's so dumb. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's really, like, of course, when you...
Like Tessa, of course. She's really hot, so I used to call her hot, tell her that she's hot, often. And now I still tell her that she's hot sometimes, every once in a while, because she is, but, most of the time I compliment her on other things because she's really good at other things, like being extremely smart and really funny. So, but before I think about the topic, and so yeah, that's the full story there. I think. Did I have a broken helmet before? It's pretty What? Do I not have a sword? Where's my... I had a pickaxe and a sword, didn't I? Am I wrong? I had a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword. Oh god. I need to sort this out real quick. To get that there and that there and that there and that there and that there. And put that away and put that away. I need to put that there and that there. Let's try and... Okay, found my stuff. There, okay. Well, that's really all I have to say about that topic, though. There's not... Jeez, guys. Freaking crazy. Horn dogs over here. Crazy guys. Oh, man. What? I thought I just... Oh my god, I thought it was just there. Or is that two? Or is it one? It's one. I need to wear my glasses. I can't see anything. Or I can't see things. I can see most things. I'm safe to drive without my glasses, but... or at least the... DPS, Department of Public Safety, they said that I'm good to drive without my glasses. They think I'm fine. So, I guess I am fine. Go. Away. Loser. So it's not like a big deal if I don't have my glasses. I haven't found my glasses. I haven't seen them since yesterday. I was driving in a situation where I shouldn't have been driving yesterday, and I also didn't have my glasses. So that was actually probably really dangerous, and I probably shouldn't have done that, and I have since apologized to one of the people who was in the car with me. The only person that was in the car with me that I really care about what she thinks of me. So everything is alright. And she said that she didn't care, and it was fine, so... She's driven like that before, even though she doesn't even have a license, so, rebel over there. And, probably shouldn't give her a license because she's crazy, but also she should get a license because she doesn't like my driving. She said yesterday that she doesn't like my driving, which is upsetting. And, I'm gonna drive like a normal person now. Specifically, the thing that she doesn't like about my driving is that I'm a freak when driving, so, I should probably not be that way when I'm driving. I should probably drive like a normal person on purpose instead of driving like a freak on purpose. I drive terribly on purpose because it's fun and funny, and a lot of people in the car have a good time doing that. Like Matthew and Asher, Asher doesn't like it, but Matthew likes it. Matthew has a good time in the car whenever I drive like a maniac. Mia's pretty cool. Mia was in that car. Yeah, I care about what Mia thinks of me. What am I talking about? Tessa and Mia and Dominique, they are all cool. I care about what all three of them think of me, actually. Less for Dominique because I don't know her very well, but for the other ones, I care. Dominique is also super cool, so, who else was in my car? Eamon. Another guy. I don't know. I've never seen the other guy. And then the other guy I've never seen also. And I don't remember their names. I should probably know people's names if they're going to be in my car. That's actually probably a good idea. Ask people's names when they get in my car. That's a note for the future. Probably shake their hands as well. I shook one of the guy's hands. I don't remember his name. And I love this, dude. I can, like, remember actually how to play this game now. Wow. I found a diamond in that chest. That was pretty cool. I didn't even mention it. And I got these beetroot seeds. I don't know if they have those at the village. I don't really like beetroot seeds because they don't do anything, because I don't think that you can eat beets. I don't even know what a beet would look like in this game. Jeez. Oh my god. I'm gonna try something sneaky here. That word? Dead. Defeated. By my hand. I'm gonna put this right here, because that's important. Then I'm gonna put that in there. And, what do I not need here? I don't have any arrows. So I shouldn't have that in the front slot, or whatever it's called. these things that I can see now that are in my inventory that I can see currently. Should I get more coal? Yeah, probably. I'm running out, even though I had a whole bunch because I spent like all night last night doing this. Sorry to the nobody watching this video, and the nobody hearing that me say those things. It's gonna make for a pretty fun series of events that this is gonna be. Jeez. He's coming. I need to get my bow. Oh god. Alright, I need to get my bow. I don't have any arrows, so there's no point in me getting a bow. I don't have that. I don't want that. What else do I not want? I don't want this. I don't want this, and I don't want this, and I don't want that. I put that away. I should put this here for building things, because I need to make sure. Jeez! I didn't think he'd be there. Oh god! I didn't want that. Jeez. I'm gonna die of a heart attack before I finish this game. How do you beat the game? You beat the Ender Dragon, I think. Don't I? Don't. Melons! Oh, I don't have melons yet. I have melons now. I don't need that. I have plenty of iron back at the tower. I'm gonna call it the tower. I'm gonna only refer to it as the tower, not the base or the home or the house or whatever. I'm just gonna call it the tower. So that's a fun name. The tower. The building. I like this mine shaft. I'm glad that I found this mine shaft because now I can like travel real far distances underground without this is the worst combination, being in the water and also being in a cobweb. And that's the only worst combination. What else can you do? You can shift, and if I had a shield, I could do that. I could right click because you used to be able to block with your sword, but you can't. But if I did that and also shift and then what was that? And then also block and shift and walk through cobweb and walk through water and walk on sandstone, soul sand? What is that stuff? It's got like little faces in it. Can't remember what it's called. Doesn't really matter, but I don't remember what it's called. But it makes you slow. Basically, that's the basics of it. It makes you slow. I've already gotten that thing. I hear the creeper, I think. I think it's making little noises. Ow. Dude, die. Thank you. Alright, I've got arrows now, and now I'm gonna, okay, I'm gonna put this, in my, yes, put that there, and put that there, and I'm gonna, I don't need this. I just picked that back up. Oh, I can kill that with my sword. Save some arrows. Big boy. Yay. Now I can chill. Dead. So now I need to light everything up. Everything needs to be lit up. There we go. Oh man, I almost threw up there. wanted to. There's another ingot somewhere over there, and I don't care where, because... Oh, man. But, like, name tag. I found a thing. It's a name tag. I'm gonna put these down here. There we go. Everything's nice and organized. I should put these things in here, because I don't want them. And I should probably eat also, because I need to if I'm gonna survive. Is that the ocean? Oh god. No, there's a... I can't fight these things because they're so tiny. Jeez. Alright, now I need to eat more because I messed up. Yikes. I need to, put that there and that there and, yeah, there we go. Now I can, like, yeah, alright, what should I talk about? I need to talk about something because I'm blowing up right now. My brain is overpowered. My brain is, on a road to revolution. Road to Revolution. That's a name of a unit in my US history class in 8th grade. I need to not remember things like that. Why do we learn US history like 4 times? I'm taking US history next year also, and I've already taken it twice. I've taken it in 8th grade and also in 5th grade. So I also took Texas history twice because I took it in 7th grade and also in 5th or 4th grade. And I took world history twice, once in 6th grade and now last year in 10th grade. Yeah, 10th grade. And now next year I'm taking European history for the first time ever. I took human geography in 9th grade. I'm taking European history next year, AP European history. That's going to be fun, hopefully. I like European history. It's my favorite history. I might try and go to Cambridge because they've got a Department of Anglo-Saxon, Norse, and Celtic, and basically the department is kind of like a mixture between linguistics and history, which are my 2 favorite academic things, somewhat academic things. So I might end up doing that, maybe doing something with history or linguistics for a living. I'm not really good with the, I know German, but that's the only other language I know. I tried learning Spanish in 8th and 9th grade. I took 2 years of Spanish, one in 8th and one in 9th, and it was, I was not good at it. I failed 4 of the 8 quarters in total, so I failed my 2nd and 3rd quarter, and my 2nd and 3rd quarter both years. And my 1st quarter I got like a B both years, and my last quarter I got a C both years. So, barely passed with a C average in that in Spanish. I know German though. I learned German in 2 years, less than 2 years. I'm not great at speaking it, and I'm not good at constructing sentences, but I am good at understanding it. I can understand it fluently, and I can read it fluently. And that's about it. I'm trying to learn Spanish again now, and I'm also learning Danish and Dutch. There's no reason to learn Dutch because 97% of people in the Netherlands speak English, so there's really no point in learning it. But it is a cool language, and it is the closest language to English that there is, because the Anglo-Saxons came from there, and it's also closer to Northern Germanic languages than German is, which Northern Germanic languages is where English got most of its grammar from. We got most of our vocabulary from German and Latin and French, and not German specifically, but German languages.
Sorry, dudes, I had to get, water. And I am destroyed. I cannot handle existence. So, what is... I'm actually trying to be calm. I'm not trying to sound like I'm trying to be calm. I'm actually trying to be calm. I can't be calm. Where's my phone? Where's my phone? I need my phone. Oh my god. Where are my glasses? God, I'm not... That sounded angry. I wasn't angry. I wasn't mad at all. I don't have I don't even
have a flash of angry right now. My brain is completely chill. It's not chill. I mean, but it's not angry. It's not chill, but it's not angry. It's just racing. I don't know what's happening. Am I peaking? What am I peaking? Am I peaking? Am I peaking? Is this peak performance right here? Is that what I'm doing? Like that? If so, that's... Oh man, that's not okay. Who's down here? Who's down here? Who's way down here? I need to... Oh man, I need to get food because I'm gonna die. Oh my god, I need to get my food. Oh my god, there's a skeleton. I need to... Alright, let's, how's that? Can't reach. No, come on. Hey, buddy. Just got an arrow pointed at me. Oh, you evil sack of dog. Yeah, see, it sounded like I was gonna say a bad word, but a bad word. That sounds so childish. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Oh my god. Bad word. Bad word. Bad word. I need to find my stuff. I need to die. I need to not die. No, I need to live. That's the way this game works. You live. You die sometimes, and then you respawn, and then you get your stuff, and you live, so that you don't have to. Yeah, dying is a setback, obviously. It's not the end of the world, obviously. I need to get more levels of experience. I need to stop dying and losing everything, all of my experience, because I need to gain that stuff. I need to increase that, because that's like. Okay, I need to replace these with the good ones. Actually, if I combine those, they would probably they'd probably be pretty close to even Steven. I'm gonna throw some garb out. I don't need that. 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 I need this. I keep that. Just I don't need that. I am having a heart attack, and I know why. I'm gonna die. IRL. I'm gonna die here. I'm gonna die on this hill. That's right. I'm gonna die on this hill, and it's gonna be a-okay. And now I'm gonna go back. And I'm gonna go continue to mine. Not up there. Not there. Not there. Not there. Not there. Not there. Yikes! 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 Dude, bro, I don't want to fight you. I can't. At least I have been. She's been saying the opposite. Loser. Oh my god. Alright, I'm just gonna set up my phone there so that I can. How'd that happen? I don't know how that happened. I'm sorry. That was loud. That is. Oh man, that gave me a heart attack. Oh my god, I'm gonna die here. No, it's fine. I won't die. I'm gonna live. Alright. I need to drink some water there. Oh man. Alright, it's called crazy. People are crazy. People don't understand. I need to put this stuff away, and then I need to leave. Not leave. I need to... What do I need to do? Let's think. What do I need to do? Next order of business. I'm gonna start focusing on... Oh man. I love that part of The Office where, it's like, where, what's his name is, talking to what's-her-face, and she's, like, continues to joke, and he's like, reaching. Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's a thing. Fair enough. Fair enough. Where's that from? Fair enough. You, the video, not the series. The video you, the one that Cody Co made a video about. He says fair enough when the girl says something. I can't remember what. And yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. All right. I need to stop referencing things. that nobody's gonna understand. Nobody's listening to this anyway, so it's fine. Whatever. What am I? Oh, A. Okay, yeah, perfect. That was actually very perfect. And I enjoyed the perfectness of that. What is she saying? Oh, she said yes. Okay, that's okay. Oh man, that takes away so much. What is it called? Anxiety? Is that what I was feeling? Oh, can't tell you. I don't know. And I'm not great at that. I had a 98 in that class, mostly because I cheated on every test. I never took the notes. I always just did the homework and listened to music, and then sat on Reddit for the rest of the class, which was like for the first half of class. I would finish all my homework in the first half of class without even doing the notes, and listen to music the entire time. And then for the second half of class, I would just sit there on my phone looking at Reddit. And then because of that, I didn't know anything about math. So then I exempted the final because I had a 98 in the class, and then because I had. And also because I didn't know anything in that class, I had to cheat on every test. So, I felt bad because Miss Remore was a great teacher. I got a 102 on like 3 tests, and then like for the rest of the final, I got 100s on all of them, which is, if I must say, it's pretty good.
Oh my god. I hate grapple. I don't want it. There's diamonds! Oh man. Just to make sure it doesn't fall in lava or anything, you know what I mean? Yeah, there we go. There we go. Anything else? Nah. Bye-bye. Yeah, I still don't want to get involved with like witch. I don't like witches. Witches get stitches. Oh man.